Hello, how's it going out there? So last night I ran across this video right here. I only watched about 30% of it or so. That was me thinking OBS was the actual window. Okay, I only watched about half of it maybe. And I don't think this woman made a single good point in the entire thing. Well, at least, like I say, the first half. And in fact, I think they were really bad points, actually. So, and I feel like I'm seeing a lot of the same attitude or naivete on display. So I just want to respond to it and see if I'm wrong. Like people out there in the world, they can see this, like me reacting to it, and perhaps I'm the fool. Maybe I'm an idiot. I'm not saying she is, but I might be so off base that I come off as an idiot, you see? So, let's see. Let's do it.
I kind of feel like we all permanently
Looking at
live
my
in a
audio
South Park
levels.
episode now, and I really don't like it.
So I'm live right now with 42,000 people on Instagram. What do you want to say to my audience?
I made an app called Parallel Live that makes it look like you're live streaming with tens of thousands of people watching to see how people treat you
This
differently
one
when they
just
think you're
seems like
famous.
sour
Immediately they
grapes.
started filming
I
it.
think
I
she
think
was
Drake
just
just
mad
joined.
she didn't
Drake,
come up
Drake,
with the
come live with
idea
us.
first.
Great. But then the girl that was flirting with me tried to upgrade to Drake.
Hey, come over.
Luckily, she got over it quickly. I then went home and took a nap. I then went back out to the most exclusive art
Let's
gallery
get
in
to
Miami where tickets are
Generated people
the
that
actual
aren't
thing's
real
worth
that you won't see a
talking
return
about.
on. What the hell are we doing anymore? Also, people are using this app to pick up girls, so romance just
I mean, of
doesn't
course they
exist
are.
anymore, I guess.
This bit kinda drove me crazy.
Incredibly excited for it, to the point where they're screaming and cheering. So it must be something amazing, right? Is it a new car? Is it a house? Is it a new phone? Is it some brand new, never before seen technology that will change the course of human history forever? Take your guesses before the
I'm just gonna go ahead and spoil it for everybody. She's watching a commercial coming up. She's gonna watch a commercial and take it as genuine excitement. It's so weird because at the end of it, she's like, are people just so dumb now that they're falling for marketing so easily that they're going to cheer and go crazy over a blender? Like, no, but you're naive enough to think that a commercial is genuine. So let's go.
video continues. Because you will not guess what it is. I can promise you that.
This blender commercial is really bad. But it's obviously a commercial. There wasn't a convention around presenting a blender. Like, I know that there's shows like CES and or South by Southwest down in Austin where they show off all the new technology and stuff. CES, Consumer Electronics something. But this is a commercial. This isn't a real event that people are going crazy over a blender. I mean, if it was the juice loosener, I'd get it. I mean, like, I've been waiting for the juice loosener for years and I still haven't been provided with one. So if that's what's being if that was what was being presented here, I would totally understand the hype. But there's no hype. It's not real. It's a commercial. Yeah, this is ridiculous. Come on, get to the big reveal.
All of this screaming, all of this cheering, all of this applauding, all of this conundrum of people recording this reveal with their phones, and a cameraman walking around with a giant camera on his shoulder recording people's reactions like this is some life-changing technology.
It's a commercial!
And it's all for a Thermomix blender. Yay! Wow! I'm so impressed.
Am I crazy?
I'll just let us sit in silence for a second to really think about that, okay?
I'm trying.
I don't know if we're all just so easily fooled by marketing now, because that editing made it
let's see
seem
what
like
it
it was
says.
other.
Thermomix has been releasing blenders for 64 years, and they will continue to do so for as long as we live. The technology will never be any different than just blending fruits, vegetables, or ice cream to make milkshakes, y'all. Well, this thing said it's a thermo blender, so I assume that means there's some level of temperature control within the blending mechanisms, so perhaps they did bring something new to the table. I mean, I'm sure it's still no juice loosener, but we don't always get what we want, you know? And what she just said right there, I missed it, but yeah,
I don't know if we're all just so easily fooled by marketing now, because that edit.
I guess we are. I guess we are. I guess we are. Like, I guess we are. She just watched a freaking commercial and thought it was a real presentation. Perhaps I'm wrong. I may be wrong. I could be the one misinterpreting the video, and it could be a genuine convention or presentation for the blender and not just a commercial. But I feel pretty confident in it being nothing more than a commercial. Right? Like, right?
Editing made it seem like it was otherworldly technology, or if we're all just so incredibly bored and empty existing in our current modern world because there aren't any new inventions anymore, so we cheer
There's
over
new
the
stuff
most
all the time.
mundane appliances that have existed for over a century now. This blender
Just barely
will
over a
literally be
century.
on clearance in Target within the next 2 years. So why the hell are people reacting like this? I swear, y'all will lose your mind.
It's a commercial. I don't know how else
Then
to
we
say
have
it.
this girl at a doctor's appointment, and she's nervous that she's in trouble because her literal cardiologist is asking ChatGPT questions about this young girl's heart, as if that isn't the literal cardiologist's job. And do you know that people were defending this?
I'm about to defend it right now. That's why I started the stream. These people, doctors, that's who I'm referring to, but these people did go to school for like 10 years to become a doctor, and they absorbed a ton of knowledge in those years. And this is one of my favorite advances with the LLMs that I feel like is going to be their best purpose, like the best use case for these things is going to be medical stuff. perhaps not mental, because we have already been seeing people slip into ChatGPT psychosis, which is bad. But for this cardiologist, it's like, okay, she's telling you her symptoms, the patient. And back in the day, as far as I understand it, once again, I could be wrong about all of this, but you would explain what's going on, how you feel, and the doctor would say, okay, I'll be right back. And then you sit there for an hour, and maybe a nurse will come in and tell you what they think. Maybe the doctor will come back in. I doubt it though. But with the AI stuff, you can just kind of do diagnostics way quicker, and you can get to the heart of the cardiologist. You can get to the heart of the problem a lot faster than trying to do it on your own. And another good thing I see about AI, and maybe this will become more common in the future. I don't know if people are doing it now, they might be. But you can use an LLM to try to like not diagnose yourself, but try to figure out about what's happening. Now, where that will become a problem, like I want to acknowledge that right off the bat, is similar to the people that succumb to ChatGPT psychosis. There is a certain percentage of the population that will listen to an AI saying that if you have a backache, then you should start drinking tons of lead. Just anything you can find with lead in it, put it in a bottle, shake it up, let the shavings shed off, and drink it. And just keep doing that until your back stops hurting. And someone out there is going to be like, okay, it sounds good to me. Like, and the lead that they'll be consuming will just make that problem worse. I don't know how much you know about lead poisoning, but it's not good for your brain. So I feel like if you can try to suss out a little bit about what's happening to yourself, like within your body, and you can bring that to a medical professional, you definitely don't want to use any kind of AI as a doctor, and you never want to take its word for anything, but you could use it as a starting place, as a jumping board, because I feel like everybody knows someone that knew what was wrong with them, but the doctors wouldn't listen to them. And this is especially a problem for women, even when dealing with women doctors. It's a weird one, I know. But, and I know this isn't a good way for things to be, but it is how they are. And you have to work within those confines to achieve your goals or to figure out your problems, different things. So if you're able to suss this out on your own a little bit with the help of AI, and you bring that to a medical professional that, for whatever reason, does take AI at its word, perhaps they'll actually see, okay, uh, this patient keeps saying they think they have myocarditis, and I think they're an idiot, and I don't think they know what they're talking about. So I'm just gonna tell them to take an aspirin and go home. You know. But if you bring your AI with you or something, and it could tell the doctor, like, hey, we kind of ran through all the questions and such, um, I'm pretty sure she has myocarditis. And unfortunately, like I say, it's not a good thing, but it is the world we live in. The doctor might be like, okay, that sounds, yeah, okay. It sucks. But you could use the AI to diagnose way faster, to come up with treatment plans way faster. And I think that's a good thing. And sure, I acknowledge it will have its downfalls. Everything does. We can't let perfect be the enemy of good enough, you know? And the people that are going to allow these things to negatively impact their lives, if it wasn't AI, it would have been something else. That's kind of the mindset I have with most of these things. So it's really hard for me to like genuinely feel bad for people. Like I just read recently that someone stopped consuming Maycal, like normal salt, and started consuming like brolamite, which is like an alternative salt. But you can't do that because your body literally needs salt, like normal table salt. At least I'm not a doctor. Don't ever think I'm a doctor, okay? But that guy's an idiot. And it sucks that he did that for like 3 months and had to be hospitalized. And I'm sure that was a really awkward conversation with the doctor. Like, hey, buddy, we noticed, you know, like what happened? Can you give us the story? They probably, I don't know. I just don't, I wouldn't go to the hospital. I'd just accept my fate and become one with the ocean. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Damn, sorry they don't remember 5+ years of education. What exactly were they doing for over 5 years then? That just
Getting
seems like
laid.
a complete waste of time to me if you're just going to use ChatGPT in every single patient's appointment. Why?
Once again, it can be used to diagnose someone quicker or find problems quicker. It notices, like, the best thing about AI is its pattern recognition. So if a patient is speaking with a doctor and sorry. So if a patient is speaking with a doctor and I know what she's going to say is like, oh, well, they should just intuitively know that. That's why they went to school. Good luck, okay? But if the patient is describing they're just if I were a doctor, which I'm not, but if I were a doctor and I wanted to incorporate these types of tools into my profession, my practice, what I would do with consent of the patient, everything has to be above board. I would just ask them to please describe how their day usually goes and how they feel and at which times do they feel certain ways and after which events, whether it be going for a walk or after eating lunch. And I would have something like ChatGPT running in the background, listening to the conversation, trying to pinpoint key moments that correlate to known conditions to narrow the diagnosis process down, like to condense it and make it more simple. And maybe for the first little while, there will be hiccups and gaps and bad results. But the hope would be eventually it could get to the point that we wouldn't have to concern ourselves with those types of things. Like, am I making sense here? Like, does any of this make sense?
is this being used as an excuse now? When
Hello,
doctors
people
have
here.
been able
Hope
to
y'all are having a good
successfully
day.
diagnose and treat their patients without using AI for decades and decades. All this will do is make doctors lazy, and
I just
that is
disagree.
incredibly
It's like, yeah, they've been doing it for decades and decades, diagnosing people. But couldn't you have said the same thing about the automobile? People have been transporting goods and moving around cities for decades and decades on horseback. What do we need this Model T for? Like, and I don't feel like it's a sign of laziness for the doctors because they did go to school, they did get their medical degree, they did do their residency. It's not like they showed up to a hospital one day and said, I have ChatGPT, can I be a doctor now? That's not how that works. That is not how that works at all. But I guess that don't really matter, does it?
scary because they are quite literally putting our lives, our health, and our well-being in the hands of artificial intelligence. You know what?
You've been doing that for decades. Like, so many people think that AI is this totally new thing that just came about in 2022 when we've been using machine learning for decades to run all sorts of systems that you put your life in their hands every day. Or maybe not every day, depends on where you live and how you travel. But we put our lives in the hands of technology constantly. That is modern life. Like, for real? And I saw someone a month or two ago on the show called Onion Nuggets, and the person, whose name is TJ Kirk, used to be known as the amazing atheist. He was watching his show was watching some video about AI, and the people were basically saying the same sorts of things as Halo Haley is. And just real quick, TJ passed a comment that I honestly haven't been able to stop thinking about. And it's a left-wing show, with a mostly left-wing audience, and the audience was also complaining about AI. So what TJ said, just real quick, he just kind of, and moved on. He's like, hey guys, by the way, this is how you become the new conservatives. And what he was talking about as the hatred for AI and the resistance to it being integrated into our day-to-day life. And that made sense to me. It's like, because I see it everywhere currently. People are terrified of AI. And this woman just said it, that this is scary. She straight up said, this is scary. I don't think it's scary personally, for all the reasons I stated already. So, like, this does seem like it's going to become the new road to conservatism. Hopefully, we can get rid of that 50s fantasy lifestyle, 1950s fantasy lifestyle that never existed, it was never real, but that propaganda is what has been used to funnel people into more conservative states of mind. And my fear is that AI will become the new funnel for making people get into a conservative mindset instead of asking, okay, so yeah, there's problems. How do we solve them? Like, just because it's not perfect right now doesn't mean it'll never be. worth using. I know it'll never be perfect because nothing is perfect, obviously. But why can't we be in. Sorry. Why can't we be encouraging to the people that want to make this stuff better instead of condemning them and saying they're trash and they're evil and then it's scary? Like, that's really what it all comes down to, is people are afraid. It's so obvious that people are terrified of this stuff because people are afraid of everything. That's not really the surprising bit here. But what really surprises me is growing up, every like the the state of mind that most people were in when it comes to AI was, this stuff is going to free us of the toil. We won't have to toil. And you know what toiling is, it's working. It's just labor. And so many people, myself included, were promised a future where AI could pick up the slack on all the work that we humans don't actually want to do. We just have to maintain society. And once we get all of those automated, like building the building blocks to society, once we have all of those in place, automation wise, then we, the humans, will be free to pursue what we want. Because why the hell else are we here? Like, we are not here to work. We don't exist to work. If we can automate those tasks like farming and energy production to pursue what we want, that would be fantastic. And as far as how we're going to get the energy to power this idealistic future that I want, but maybe it'll happen, I don't know. People seem to not want it for some reason. I don't understand. They're like, hey, if this AI stuff takes off, where am I going to work? It's like, what? What do you mean? Huh? It's like, what do you mean? Like, are you passionate about data sheets? Like, whoa. I mean, I know that there are people out there that are passionate about Excel spreadsheet sheets. Those people exist. I'm not going to deny that. But it's such a extreme minority. And then there's even less people that want to be toiling out in the field. If we could automate tractors and irrigation systems to take care of all that, including the harvesting and the transportation, like trains and 18-wheelers, and even like if we could get to a point, screw Elon Musk, I don't expect it to come from him, but if we could get to a point where self-driving vehicles were actually practical, then people are, of course, going to be like, the truck drivers are going to be like, but I drive a truck. You're going to take that away from me? It's like, I wouldn't envision a future where we take it away from you and then kick your ass to the curb. It would more be like, no, if you want to drive a truck, go for it. You're just not forced to anymore. You see what I'm saying? And that's the future that I thought we were promised. I was wrong, maybe? Or not, I was wrong about the future, perhaps, but I was wrong about people's wanting of it. Like, I thought people were on board with this stuff. It's so weird for people who I thought were on board with this stuff, for the same reasons I just stated, to then regress and be like, nope, actually it's bad. Like, what just happened? you were seeing its praise in 2020 whenever COVID happened and there were lockdowns and stuff, and tons of people couldn't go to work, but the whole world kept on functioning. So it's like, do we really need as many workers out there as we think we do? I don't think so. And AI would be part of the process of eliminating that toil for life, forever. And to get back to what I was saying as how we will get power to function, to how we would get the power for this automated AI future to function, nuclear power. Nuclear power. Nuclear power is like the infinite money glitch in a video game. It is crazy how awesome it is. It's like we just spin a freaking a copper coil to generate tons of electricity, and the stuff coming out of the stacks at a nuclear power plant is just steam. It's not smoke. It's not polluting the environment. And I know. Tell that to Chernobyl. I get it. But once again, if we could get that AI automation future where we could put these nuclear power plants completely out of the way of human and wildlife, we just have to get really long cables, but we could fully automate a nuclear power plant with the AI or we would do that so that humans wouldn't be in danger at the nuclear power plant. Because everybody I've talked to that is anti-nuclear power, they don't have anything bad really to say about the way the power is generated. It's the human element that people worry about. And I totally get it. That's why I'm saying if we could get to the point that AI could just pick up the slack on that and we didn't have to worry about human error causing a disaster, why wouldn't we do that? Then you just have energy being generated for free for everybody, forever. And people like her are going to, I don't want to speak for her, I take that back. But there's a lot of people who are going to look at that and scoff at it and present it as a bad thing. And I just don't understand. It's like they've been tricked into thinking that the entire purpose of life is to toil. I don't get it, guys. I really don't.
I wouldn't be mad because at least I know I'll get answers and the proper solution. Thank you, ChatGPT. I would be mad for several different reasons. Firstly, did you know that the average cost of a doctor's appointment in the United States, if you can't afford health insurance, is anywhere from $150
Yeah, I do know that.
to $600,
Yep, I know that.
depending on what your problem is. And you're
Oh my god. So, how about instead of going to a doctor with just your random symptoms, like multiple times, because just because you have a doctor's appointment doesn't mean you're going to be diagnosed or even provided any help. And that's a huge problem. Yes, I acknowledge that. That is a huge problem. But if you are able to work with the AI a little bit, and the doctor is able to do the same thing, and something that would have taken 3, 4, 5 doctor's appointments, so $3, $6, $9, $12, $1,500 in America could be solved relatively quick as far as diagnostics go.
Okay with paying $200 to sit down for no more than 10 minutes while you watch a doctor use ChatGPT on his computer listing the possible causes and diagnoses instead of actually having the doctor do his job. And this should...
That is their job. Like, doctors aren't gods. I don't know if you knew this, Haley, but doctors are not gods. They are not omniscient. Like, I would be mad if my doctor was sitting there playing Candy Crush while I was trying to explain my symptoms to him. 100%. But if they're incorporating an AI into their diagnostic process to get me help faster than they otherwise would be able to, I would be the exact opposite of mad. I would be happy. It's like, she looks really young, so I really don't want to speak for her or like speak for her experience. But maybe she hasn't had any medical issues that you had to go back to the doctor over and over and over again. Just racking up the bills, just racking them up. And sometimes, a lot of the times, the patient, they know what's wrong with them. They know what the deal is. The doctors just won't listen. But if they're more likely to listen to ChatGPT for some reason, take advantage of that. Use that to your advantage. Like, work with the AI on your side while the doctor does it on their side, and maybe you can get diagnosed faster so you don't have to make multiple trips to the doctor and spend potentially thousands of dollars here in the United States. Like I said earlier, there's a lot of things that are really messed up, but they are. So you have to figure out a way to work within those parameters if you want to get anything done. And we can sit here and say, I don't like that. I don't agree with that. Okay, awesome. It still is. It doesn't matter if you like it or don't like it. It still is. So now it's your job to work within those perimeters and make it work for yourself. Like, nothing is going to just be handed to you ever. You need to put in the work as well. And I know I think her response to that would be, same goes for the doctors. And it's like, they did put in the work. They went to medical school for at least 8 years, and then they had to complete a 2-year residency on top of that. The doctors did the work.
Make everyone mad because this is becoming a trend in the medical field. Either people are using ChatGPT to get their degrees, or they're planning to use ChatGPT in the future to get their...
That would be an issue, I feel like. Getting your degree using ChatGPT, that's a legitimate concern. And I think that the way we're going to have to combat this is just going back to pads and number 2 pencils, like graphite paper for anti-cheat. And this is one of those things that I'll say, we did that for centuries and didn't have a problem. So that's one of the things I will be like, okay, maybe the old way is better. But for now, yeah, doctors should not be using ChatGPT to get their medical degree. That would be bad. But if once they've completed school and they've completed their residency if they can incorporate it into their workflow to make diagnosing people quicker and easier and potentially more accurate, then why wouldn't they do that?
A medical certificate so that they can cheat their way through half a decade of school and continue to cheat their way through the medical field when seeing patients. I know that doctors aren't always accurate or precise, but if you think AI is the answer, you don't have a single working brain cell left in that thick skull of yours. Because
Wow. Wow. Yeah. You know, though, you got all the answers. You know what's what. Those professionals that are working in their field that they train for 10 years on, you know better than they do. Those doctors and their thick skulls. God. And I know maybe she's talking about people like me, perhaps. I don't know. It's absurd to me to think that someone can go through so much education and come out on the other end having not learned anything. Like, and this is a new issue. So that's why I mentioned that we probably at college, probably all of school, K through college, we'll have to go back to number 2 pencils and graphite paper for testing. And I don't see a problem with that personally. And I don't think it would cause any long-term issues for the students because that is one of those things that we did for centuries. That's fine. But once again, the doctors did the work, and any doctors that are a little bit older today, they have 30, 40 years of experience, so they can probably recognize the usefulness of ChatGPT as a tool to help do diagnostics on the human body.
because AI is
And I'm gonna. This also reminds me of the people that whine and cry and complain about DEI. It's like, oh my God, there's a black pilot. Oh God, we're gonna die. Everybody, there's a black pilot. Get ready, we're going down. It's like, wait, what? Do you think that the pilot didn't graduate? Do you think that, it's like these people, they think the DEI, anti-DEI people think that a black guy, or worse, a black woman, oh my God, showed up at Delta one day and said, I want to be a pilot. And they said, awesome, get on in. Oh, don't I have to go to school or something? No, you're a black woman. You don't just get on in. That's not how that works. Sorry, but it's just, I see the same type of crap everywhere every time I turn around. And now this lady's trying to put that same type of crap on doctors. It's like, what? Do you not think they completed their schoolwork? Do you just not trust any higher educational institution? I know that's becoming more and more and more popular or commonplace for people to completely distrust any kind of institution, no matter which kind it is. But it's like, you shouldn't do that. It's like, I'm not saying trust every institution. That would be foolish. That would be naive. But you also can't just dismiss everything.
even worse. I went to Google and typed in the symptoms I was experiencing while I had my brain tumor, and here are the answers that they gave me. Because Google is entirely reliant on AI now. It gave me results for an exertion headache, a migraine, a concussion, or a sinus infection. That is...
Could those have not been the cause? I mean, it sucks that she had a brain tumor, but it's not going to be the first thing that pops up when you Google, I have a headache. And she's like, oh man, brain tumor didn't pop up. I guess, I don't know. I'm not trying to make fun of her on this point because I understand that when it comes to the medical anything, people are suspicious of everything, which isn't good, like I've said. So, I don't want to be making fun, you know what I mean? But it's just such a weird. It's just weird.
Because AI isn't a human being. And they can't sit down with you in person like doctors can to do.
If these new age doctors are using AI in all of our appointments now, then what the hell is the point of leaving your house to go? You can just look it up, your symptoms from your bedroom, if that's the case. Oh, God. Oh. You go to the doctor because they actually know what to do after you figure out what the problem is. The point of the doctor isn't just to find out what the problem is. That's only like, 10% of the battle? Maybe not even that much, just knowing what's wrong. There is so much more to treating any kind of medical condition. I didn't get past this point, I don't think. No, thank you. It's just so bad. It's not good. It's not good, guys. It's bad. Come on. Why would you even leave your bedroom? Can ChatGPT write prescriptions? I mean, like, if it can, I might not ever leave my house again, but not for any of the reasons you're imagining. What do you think? Like, this statement is just so weird to me. If these New Age doctors, which New Age doctors are the hippie woo-woo people that didn't go to medical school, but let's continue, are using AI in all of their appointments now, then what the hell is the point in leaving your house to go? You can just look up your symptoms from your bedroom. That's the case, if that's the case. If these New Age doctors are using AI in all of our appointments now, then what the hell is the point in leaving your house to go? You can just look up your. These are all caps. You can just look up your symptoms from your bedroom if that's the case. If these New Age doctors are using AI in all of their appointments now, then what the hell is the point in leaving your house to go? You can just look up your symptoms from your bedroom if that is the case. Okay, one more time. If, big if here. If these New Age doctors are using AI in all of our appointments now, then what the hell is the point in leaving your house to go? You can just look up your symptoms from your bedroom if that's the case. Yeah, maybe you shouldn't leave your bedroom. Maybe that is the case.